Me too. All right, well then, without further ado, I want you to give the warmest welcome that you can to my man, the dude with the best afro in town, Anthony Brown. Come on, brother.
Hey, God bless you all. I just want to speak just grace and peace upon you right now. Gosh, so good. Woo! Man, I'm just so excited this evening to share with you just what God's done in my life, but also just invite you in that invitation of what he's going to do in your life tonight, because he's here right now. And I declare right now in Jesus Christ's name that you can be fearless because he's here right now, right where you're at. Wherever you're at, even in the back, I see you. Come on now, Jesus sees you. All right, I'm gonna hop right into it. So, 2 years ago, I'm not the dude that you see before you right now. I was a dude depressed, heavily depressed, like a coat over me. Anxiety, it felt like it coursed through my veins. It's terrible. And I was also addicted to gaming, right? Where are my gamers? Yep, we see you. Come on. Yeah, addicted to gaming, man. I'd lock myself in my room, just game for hours, bathroom breaks, that's it, and food. Come on, gamers, I know you guys are out there. Yeah, just all that, different outlets of just family situations that I didn't know how to deal with at the time. And during those times where I just try to shut myself off and just pour out just whatever I was feeling into different outlets, gaming, involved with drugs, different friend groups. We talked about our identities earlier with Jake, and that was one of my identities. It was in gaming. It was in the wrong friend groups. And just during those times, I didn't really know how to cope with that. But this evening, I'm just here to talk to you about how God wants our whole life, not just our church life, not just our weekend, just life that's just, not just our youth life either. You know, a lot of us come to youth group where we're worshiping, we're hyped, we're psyched, right? We're here for God. And just a couple months ago, I was at a point where God brought me, and it was where I was just like, God, I want more. You know, I've grown up in a Christian home where I've believed in my parents' faith rather than internalizing that and believing it for myself. And I said, God got me to a point, he's just like, while I'm worshiping, right? I just got done with this worshiping him, and he just goes, when are you going to truly go all in? Okay, vibe check, hello, you know. He asked me, when are you truly going to go in? I said, what do you mean? Right? And this is like a loud thought, right? God speaks, it can be a still small voice. It can be a loud thought, like if someone's voice is right there, right next to you. And for years, I've known worship songs in my head. Years. I've grown up in the church, right? Never personalized that relationship with Jesus. I've known these songs. I know the lyrics in my head, but I never sang them in my heart, right? I was too scared. Not just scared. It's just that's what the enemy used. Oh, someone's thinking of, you know? Like, I'm singing these songs, but it's under my breath. It's not out of my heart. I knew there were good songs up here, but I never sang them out of my heart, truly. Right? See, the devil was using fear to shut my mouth from worshiping our God. He knows he's defeated, and he can't stop God's plan for you, but he can sure try to stop you from following it. So God got me at this point, right? I feel convicted. I'm like, oh, man, you know, shoot. And I repented. I fully surrendered that to him. I fully surrendered. I'm like, Lord, I'm sorry, you know. I need to do this. I need to stop doing everything so half-heartedly. I need to truly dive in and do it wholeheartedly. And that's just a question I ask you right now is just, do we know who we're worshiping? He's a person. God's a person. Jesus is right there next to you. We know the lyrics in our minds, but don't truly sing them from our hearts. I just encourage you today, he truly loves you. He's right there to embrace, right? He's right there for you to just say, Lord, take it. Take my heart. He loves hearing your voice. He loves it. Even if you have to sit there and during any situation, at home, at school, at work, he loves hearing your voice. Just saying, my children, I love you. God's after your heart. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, how bad do I want it? That's where I had to come to a point where I was just like, do I truly want to go in? Do I truly want to go all in? Trust him wholeheartedly. He's after your heart. Seek him wholeheartedly in everything you do. Thank you.
Come on, Anthony. I love you, brother. This boy's a preacher. Come on, give it up for him one more time. Oh, man, this is so good. I love hearing from these guys. Well, we got one more. I love this girl. She's amazing. Give it up for Kyme Burhans.
Hi, I'm Kyme. Sorry, my Chromebook is, hang on. I love you too. Okay, while this loads, before I start, I want to know what you guys think about my new shoes. I'm really excited about them, and I got them on Tuesday, and I waited till OneHeart to wear them because I was so excited. Okay, it's still loading. Okay, it's ready. Okay. So, like they all said, I'm Kyme, and I already said that before, but I'm just going to jump right in. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what God's been teaching me just in the past year. But some background information is in 7th grade, I started struggling with severe depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Moving through middle school to high school, I was drinking just about every night, trying to numb the pain that I was feeling just from the depression and the suicidal thoughts. And every morning when I would wake up, I wouldn't feel really any better. If not, I was feeling probably worse. On the weekends, I would party with my friends and we'd smoke weed and we'd just drink. And I really was just doing this to fit in somewhere because I just really wanted to belong somewhere. But last year was my junior year of high school, and it was the worst year of my life probably. I missed 70 days of high school because every morning when it was time to wake up, I would decide to go back to sleep when I turned my alarm off because it was easier for me to sleep through the day and miss school than deal with the thoughts that were in my head all day. And so last year was the point where I reached the lowest point in my life. In October, I just felt like I was ready to give up on everything. I thought that life was pointless and that I just really had no purpose. But that's when God reached down and saved me. So on October 23rd of 2018, I came to church at Res with my mom to get prayer for suicidal thoughts, and I remember the exact words that Karen OneHeart, our women's pastor, said to me. She said, "The thoughts that you are having are not from you." And that just broke me, and I just started crying, and she said, "They're from the devil, and he's trying to attack you." And so we prayed for those suicidal thoughts to be gone. We prayed a few times, and after we finished praying, they were gone. And I left the building, walked out with no suicidal thoughts. And so as I continued to grow in my relationship with God and seek his freedom for me, I began to realize that my life had a purpose. and that God put me here for a reason. And so I kept seeking after him and his freedom for me. And so at OneHeart of 2019, it was my first year. And the last night at the last session, I ended up getting healed from my depression after praying and yelling at the devil to get out right in the ground floor with my small group of friends. And it instantly left. And I felt the weight of depression lift off my chest and just disperse into the air. And so after that, I was like, okay, obviously we're not done. So I just continued to push in my relationship with him. And even though I was still growing in my relationship with him and seeking after him, I would constantly listen to these negative thoughts that the enemy would put in my head. Thoughts to bring me down. Thoughts like I'm not loved. I'm not good enough. Nobody cares about me. I'm not pretty enough. I'm weak and I'm just a kid. And I would always get so caught up in these lies in my head, the thoughts that made me feel so weak, but I never asked God what he thought about them. And then when I did ask him, he always had something to say. And so he would tell me the truth in thoughts, a vision, pictures in my head, his word, or even through other people. So he would always tell me the negative things about what I was feeling or thinking. And that's when I realized I just really have to start telling the truth to all the lies that I'm feeling. And so whenever I would have a lie, I would write them down on a piece of paper, and I would write down the truth of what Jesus told me on the other side. So when he told me that I'm not loved, when I told him that I'm not loved, he said, no, you are loved. And when I told him that I felt like I wasn't good enough, he said, no, I have a plan and a purpose for your life. When I said nobody cares about me, he said, I care about you, and the whole kingdom of heaven cares about you. Doesn't matter what anybody on earth thinks about you. When I told him that I wasn't pretty enough, he said that I made perfect in his image, which is beautiful to him. When I told him that I'm weak, he said, no, you are strong. You are my strong daughter. When I told him that I felt like I was just a kid, he said, no, you are my child, and you're going to change the world. And so instead of focusing on how these thoughts define me and these lies define me, I would start focusing on how he defined me instead. And then I would have to repent, and I would say, God, I'm so sorry for believing these lies about myself. And from now on, I choose to believe the truth about me of what you tell me. And so we're going to have to continue to bring these lies to God every time when we have them. It was just earlier in journaling time, and I was just writing down more lies that the enemy was putting in my head, and he was telling me the truth. And so I know for a lot of us, we let what school we go to, what circumstances we're in, whether our parents are together or divorced, what our grades look like, all the labors that other people put on us, we let those things define us instead of what truly defines us. So what I have found is that through a relationship with Jesus, we can be redefined. Thank you.
Oh! Yes, Kyme.